Okay, so someone asked me to make a quick tutorial about how I create the overlays in Liam's racing videos. So the program that I use is called Race Render 3. I'll put the link in the description. It is free. However, the free version leaves like a watermark when you produce the video. And if you want to remove the watermark, you got to pay for the paid version. It's not a lot, but I can't remember exactly how much it is. Anyway, so you have whatever videos files you need, either your rear view video, front facing video, and your data file off your Mychron. If you don't know how to get data off your Mychron, I can make another video for that. Just leave a comment on this one. Let me know that you need that. Anyway, I choose the simple layout. All of the layouts you can edit completely and choose what you want it to look like and what overlays are available. So it doesn't really matter which template you choose. And I like to kind of pick my own. So here you choose the video file that you want to use. I have his karting videos here, and I'm just going to use one I've already edited. Um, so, all right, so it puts the video file. This is the type video. If you had a rear view and a regular, you'd put the regular here, the rear facing here, and then you'd put the data. It would give you like a data option down here. But anyway, and then you choose the data file that you want, um, and then it'll input that there. So then when you click OK, it's going to pre-pop, or actually first it's going to ask you another option here. So this is going to be, again, a layout, and you can kind of choose the look that you like, the different overlays, like the speedometers look different, etc. But like I said, you can change all this. This is the one that I choose because it looks the best for me. Anyway, then you select what data fields you want to show up. Well, I don't have G-forces on his, or altitude on his go-kart. Lap counter, lap timer. I disable these because I like choosing different ones, but if you want to see like which ones, actually I'll leave those enabled just so you can kind of see. You can take them out afterwards. So even if you leave something checked on accident, you can remove it after you click OK here. I set the speed to 50 max. So if you have a faster go-kart and you're going to hit over 50 miles an hour, obviously you'd want to change that. There's no shift light in a go-kart, so I take that off. I leave the track map. I leave the tack. Again, I set the the red line and the maximum RPM for his go-kart. So his, in theory, hits 4,100, 4,000. But anyway, I kind of edit this based on how his card is set up. Again, your mileage will vary, and you might want to change these numbers based on what kind of engine you're running, etc. Anyway, click OK there. This is your main editing screen. So see, it kind of pre-filled this picture up here. I had actually already edited the rear view camera into this video before I chose the input file. My video editing software just does a slightly better job of adding the rear view camera. So this is one video, but the rear view camera is part of that one video. So you can kind of grab these and move them around wherever you want, really easy. You can also break it apart. So see, this says top speed. Let me maximize this so we get I don't know, it's not going to make it easier to see at all. Okay, so you've got your speedometer, you've got your tachometer, you've got a lap counter and lap timer by default, and you've got your track map. So you can literally just drag these where you want them on the screen. I don't like this lap counter style, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to find lap, and I'm actually just going to remove it. You can right click and just remove it. Are you sure? Yes. So that goes away. And then to add one, so I like a different lap counter. I like the black box like you see on Formula One that has has like the list of all of the different laps individually, and it'll highlight the green one as your fastest lap, etc. So I'm going to add, and then I'm going to choose, I think it's under lap counter. Oh, and then it pops open this window. It gives you a choice of different ones. So you can see, like, you can add all kinds of different overlays, different styles. You can make the track map look different if you want. But anyway, lap counter, lap list 10. So I just put it over here. So I like to put it down here in the corner, put it wherever you want. This box over here on the right is where you can adjust whichever overlay, whichever add-on or data thing you're looking at. You can change all kinds of different features about it, make it different. You can rotate it. If you want to move it just a pixel at a time, you can click these arrows and sort of adjust, do some fine adjustment. So I make this a little bit bigger, and then I put it in the corner, and then I sort of adjust it over to the edge. Same thing with the trap map. I think that's just a little bit bigger, so I make it small, and then I make the tachometer small as well, so that it'll actually nuzzle up into the speedometer. I kind of like having those as, mess free as I can. Anyway, the only thing that is a little bit tricky is adding his position. So I put, his position throughout the race, but I have to manually do that. There's not a tool that'll track his position per se. Oh, let me take a step back. So when you first go onto this screen, I had it popped up on a different window, so I didn't think about it. But you actually get this window sort of sitting right here. So this is your project setup wizard. So you can literally just go through these step by step. So the trickiest part of this is making sure that the data that's displayed, like his position on the track, his speed and his tack and his lap times, match where the video is at. So you can do it this way and just walk step by step, and it'll literally walk you through it. But for some reason, I have a real hard time with this syncing the times, doing it this way. So I actually just close out of this box and I do everything manually. For some reason, it makes a lot more sense in my brain to do it this way. But once you have all of the displays that you want, to synchronize them to make sure that the video matches what data is being displayed, you go to this side-by-side tool right here, and it opens up a window. So if you've got a bunch of different input files, you can choose which ones you want, but you want your data on one side and you want your video on the other, which is exactly what I've got here. And then you go down here to this drop-down menu and you say data events. You can choose different ones, but the one that I find easiest to visually sync up is this first time crossing the start finish line. So I click that and then I click sync, and it automatically takes it to the first time his Mychron crosses the start finish line. If I were to advance his video right now, it would move the data forward the same amount that the video moves forward. So you have to unlink it by clicking this button right here, which breaks them. So you can move this one independently of this one, and they don't move together. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward just one click at a time, real slowly, until I see. So here's the start finish line. So then I'm going to do a small advance, and I'm going to try to get his front bumper just across the finish line. It was one too far, so I'm going to go one back. I'm going to go right there, and then I'm going to back this up just like one frame as well. There you go. So it looks like, his cart's just starting to cross the finish line. This one looks like it's kind of just starting to cross the finish line. And then I'm going to relink them and click OK. Now you can see his green dot is kind of off the track because he's not on the track yet, and he's doing 12 miles an hour. His lap time hasn't started yet, so you can play and then make sure that this time starts ticking as he crosses the start finish line. And now, so yeah, that's pretty good. I'm good with the time that's synced up there. The only other thing that's a little tricky is, I may have mentioned it, his position. So the way I do his positions is I add a text feature. See it put text right here. I'll drop it down here and I'll make it a little bigger. Anyway, so I changed this text to read his position. So right now he started this race in P7. So I click P7, hit apply, and then I'll watch the file. And until he passes somebody, and then I'll pause it again. So he's coming up on P6 and he passes P6. So I'm going to add another timestamp or another time section for this. So I click add. It starts at this video time, so that's good. And then I'm going to change this to P6 and apply. And then I'm going to watch it again until he passes the next person. All right, there he is. And I'm going to click add. Okay. P5. And this is a little kind. It takes some getting used to adjust this correctly, but you get a hang of it pretty quick. And then I'll go until it passes P4, and that's P4, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to add all of these. I was just kind of giving you the idea of how it's done. And then you keep going. If he gets passed back, obviously you got to like pause it, add, change this to P5 or P6 or whatever happens. But again, that's just totally manual. Unfortunately, there's not a real easy way to track positions, but you can kind of see the result of the text that I added is this should change at the timestamp that I've set the change to happen. So see, it goes to P6 and then to P5, etc. Anyway, once you get that all set up, you can drag this around, you can resize it, you can double click on it and it'll open this window. You can kind of resize it if you want to. You can change the color of the outline to make it stand out. You can change the color of the letters if you want to, maybe you got it up there. You can play around with this. All of this stuff can be changed. Like I said, you can edit everything almost in this way. The trickiest parts are syncing the video and then, making sure that the times that you're displaying certain things are. So let me show you one more thing with regards to this text that I added. So at the end of the video, when he's coming into the pits, I want the data to turn off. So one of the things you can do is to highlight this data file up here, and you can go to trim the start and end of the input file. So if you've got the video advanced, so it's 1244.9, if you've got the video where you want the data to turn off, then you can just trim, and then you can either input the time or you can drag the slider to where you want it. So we want 1244. That's not right. 1257. Anyway, I do it based on where this red thing is. So he's coming off the pits right here. So I usually set it there. So I know he's off the track. I know he's not doing anything else. And then I do that and the data goes away. Now this text, for some reason, because it's not linked to this data file, we're just doing it manually. It stays appearing or stays visible. So what I do is I back the video up a couple of frames and I make the data show up again. Should be any time now. Okay. And I get it to literally the frame right before. Okay. So the next frame, the data is going to disappear. So what I do is I highlight the text right here, and then I go to add another time, and then I just delete this. So it's still a text box, but it's just displaying no text. And then I click apply, and then it goes away. So if all right, so let me back it up just a smidge, and you can kind of see what that is. So if I play it from here, hopefully this disappears about the same time as this. There you go. And then you can just, play the exit intro or whatever you've edited into your video. But anyway, that's the basics of how to use this to edit your overlays. And then once you're done, obviously save your file as whatever name you want, and then create your video. So when you go to create your video, I'm going to say no here because I'm just doing this as a demo. It has some profiles for what kind of video you want. So, you can choose one of these and it'll sort of set it up the way you want. You choose the resolution that you want, or the aspect ratio, and then what resolution you want. Again, this is going to be based on what resolution you recorded your video at, right? But this is going to be the output resolution for everything. I suggest using this H.264 encoder. And then I always set it to maximum quality. I've tried some of these lower ones and it processes faster, but you might get little hiccups in the video. It doesn't play as smoothly, things like that. You can also render just a little segment of your video. Like if there's just like some highlights that you wanted to show, you can make it go from like, 6 minutes in to 10 minutes in and just show that little bit. You can use the data to display just or to render just, laps 2 through 4 or something like that. But anyway, set this up the way you want it, and then you just click start rendering, and then it will, depending on your settings, it may take a while. I think the last one that I did was at 4K, so this kind of setting that I've got here, and when the output was about 5 gigabytes, and I want to say it took probably 30 minutes ish to render. Obviously, it's going to vary on your computer and your settings here. But anyway, that's basically how I do these overlays with the video. And if you have any questions, please just leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. And like I said, if anybody doesn't know how to get the data off of your Mychron so that it's usable in this program, I can do another real short video because it's super easy to do. I can do another short video on that if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you got questions.